All right,
Good.
hold on. All right, we're started. Jansen Harris here with the Flying High podcast. I'm here with Sean Fowler. Sean's already shaking his head, guys. We're going to go into it. Cowboys defeated the Falcons 43-6. They're 7-2, national televised game. Sean, what was your reaction? Yeah, I could tell already your facial expression. What was your reactions to the game?
I got that red on, man. I'm covering it up. My red shirt. It was embarrassing, man. As a fan, my dad's a diehard Cowboys fan, so anytime that we end up watching the games, it's always a Fowler rivalry. You know what I mean? The last two games have went down to the wire. The Cowboys won last second game-winning field goals the last two times these teams have played. So for this one, man, I'm excited. I can't wait. We're both watching the game. And I said this for the game plan, Jansen. I said, in order for the Falcons to win, they got to get pressure on Dak Prescott. We know he didn't have the best game last week. Turned the ball over, got sacked a lot by that Broncos defense, which I said it was going to be a tough game, a trap game, because the Broncos defense is underrated to me. So, and ain't Teddy Bridgewater, they just end up exposing the Cowboys, But hey, it was an aberration. But so coming into this game, like the Cowboys are going to be in full force. It's another 1 o'clock game at home. You know what I mean? They're going to try to take it out on the Falcons. And as a Falcons fan, man, we're really inconsistent. We won, 3 of our last 4 games, I guess. We win games, we lose some. I've always said with the Falcons, they can compete against anyone, but they can lose against anyone. And the Cowboys are just a better team, man. So just real quick though, man, I said if they can get pressure on Dak Prescott and every possession at least put points on the board, whether it's a field goal or hopefully a touchdown, then they can be in the game. Get turnovers as well. You saw that first drive, Harris dropped the interception. They end up getting a touchdown. We end up scoring a field goal at our first possession. It was cool. But after that time when we didn't go for the field goal with Koo and went for it on 4th and 7, momentum changed, and now it's a shootout with Dallas, and it wasn't happening. So I'm very disappointed, man. I definitely thought it could at least be competitive.
I'm disappointed too because, and this is one of those games, if you're a Falcon supporter or you're a supporter of Matt Ryan and him continuing to be the quarterback and him being able to lead them to the playoffs and him getting more national respect, it's kind of like a boxer. When you're on that big stage and everybody's watching, maybe you did a lot beforehand. And Matt Ryan has had some really good games. New Orleans game was really good. The Giants, Jets, Dolphins, Washington, he had some pretty good games. The people who don't live in Atlanta, or a lot of the haters or whatever people want to call it, or the people thinking, how good are some of these teams? Or New Orleans didn't even have a quarterback. So it was like the defense is getting tired, they're getting worn out, and now almost they come back and win. So how good are they? Here's the Cowboys. Everybody was watching the Cowboys game for the most part. Most people are tuning into the local game. They don't have the ticket. And on most televisions, it was the Cowboys versus the Falcons. And you see the team get blown out. You see Matt Ryan go 9 for 21, 117 yards, 2 interceptions. What the hell are people going to think? People are going to think you're worse than what you are. And even when Matt Ryan was hot the last 2-3 weeks, I think they went 3-4 in the last 4 games. Fantastic numbers, was doing well. Why wasn't there a lot of buzz? The reason is people thought this would happen. And to me, even living in Atlanta, covering the Falcons, doing a lot of stuff with the Falcons, in my brain, I said, look, this is a must-win game for the Cowboys. After what they did last week, a game they should have won, a game many people were like, what the hell happened to Dak? Maybe the worst game of his career, arguably. He comes out and he dominates. Here's the numbers, 24 for 31. 296, 2 touchdowns. And you saw when he ran him over in the end. So get off me. That's what it was. Get off me. He didn't even have to do that. He just said, get off me. That's what it was. So Pollard played well. Elliott, CeeDee Lamb. I don't know what Dean Pease was trying to do with him, but CeeDee Lamb dominated. I was shocked that they didn't win by – I thought they would win by 2 touchdowns because I thought they needed the game. But to get blown out like this – the Falcons, they look like pretenders. It looks like a team that beat up on bad teams, and now they're paying for it. Now they got New England coming up. We'll see how that is. Let's bring in Pratish. Pratish, how are you, man? It was a tough game. Falcons dropped to the Cowboys 43-6. Cowboys are 7-2. Big national TV game for them. The Falcons dropped to 4-5. What was your reaction to the Falcons just getting destroyed like that?
Yeah, it was just – I guess it was just tough to watch because since the second 4th down, we went 4th and 7 early in the game, and you could just get that feeling like it just wasn't just working. We moved down the field that first drive, like always. We moved down very easily down the field. Had some Kyle Pitts good catches on that play too, and he played well, but nothing was going. Nothing's going on defense, so it just turned into a big debacle.
Yeah, and you got the Kyle Pitts jersey on, looking nice, swagged out. I feel you on that. What happened with the momentum? Because the Falcons' offense, they look like, okay, we marching. Kyle Pitts open again. Do you think it was Arthur Smith just going away from him? Or was it Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy saying, look, we're going to take this guy away. We're going to make those adjustments, make the others beat them, or let's dial up the heat. From your point of view, I'll start with you on this, Pratish. What changed? Was it that fourth down play with the momentum? Were they just, I guess, exposed like Travis Henry just said? What happened? What was the number one reason you think like this just turned ugly, Pratish?
I think that was one big moment as well. The 4th down and 7. It completely majorly switched the momentum to get to Dallas' side, but we did kind of. They got a touchdown, but we kind of stopped them a little bit early too, and we got the ball back. And the run game, first few drives were looking like actually a better run game than we had against the Saints. And then nothing came about. Tip passes, incompletions, no one getting open. So I think it just changed completely the momentum to Dallas when we couldn't get any first down, like good yardage on first down. And then we ended up being 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9. All those.
Okay, great breakdown, Pratish. Sean, let's go back to you on this one. Obviously, it was rivalry week in your household watching the game, which is always dope. It's always good to have that Falcons fan, that Cowboys fan, guys going at it and stuff like that. Good, friendly battles. Look, what changed the game for you? Because like Pratish said, and like we were saying, Falcons offense was moving. Cowboys came down, they punched them in the mouth, they did what they had to do. Dak Prescott, they came out hot, they scored. What happened with the Falcons? What do you think changed, Sean?
Well, yeah, just like you mentioned, the 4th and 7 was a big play. Like I said earlier in the segment, man, I think just scoring points anytime against these Cowboys team, hey, I thought it was kind of bold to go for it on 4th and 7. I get it. You stop them, you get the ball back, you get down to the, near their territory, almost getting to their red zone. It was like a 45, 50-yard field goal. So you're creeping their territory. But hey, this is still an elite Cowboys team. It's not necessarily like you're stopping them, like you're getting sacks and getting turnovers. So to me, I was like, hey, at the worst case, just take the points. You're down 1 point. I understand you want to take the lead. It could be that type of game. But if you don't get it and they score a touchdown, man, like I said before, this is it's already a bend but don't break defense. We might make plays here and there. Grady Jarrett get a sack. Hopefully we get an interception. But our defense hasn't been consistent all year. So if you're going against elite offense like the Dallas Cowboys, I'm like, look, since we went for it and we don't get it, we have to get another stop. I was hoping they had a better, a better play call on that, but Matt Ryan scrambling out the pocket. And if he starts scrambling out the pocket, it's pretty much done. So what ended up happening, man, is just we couldn't score. And I give credit towards Dallas defense as well, like their secondary. I was like, okay, it's the first 2 drives, just like Predator said, we were okay. Every time we do a play action pass on Matt Ryan, I'm almost certain that somebody's open. And it looked, Kyle Pitts had a decent, first half of the first quarter, I should say. It was okay. We were moving. We were trying to get in the scoring range, but we couldn't score. Cordell Patterson was out the rest of the first half. He didn't come back. But I really give credit towards the Dallas defenders, man, because it was a lot of plays where it was, hey, it's 50-50 balls. They're knocking the ball down. They're making plays. And they just seem like, honestly, they just seem like you said, Jansen, we like pretenders. They were contenders, and they like the better team. And I'll say this as well, real quick. I believe the absence of Calvin Ridley praying for him, you know what I mean? But I believe that was a huge absence as well, because I think that can change the game plan as well. Because if you have Calvin Ridley in that game, he's one of the best route runners as well. He hasn't had necessarily the best season when he was playing for us so far, but at the same time, you still have him. Now you got to have another defender, and he's going to find ways to get open. Now you got Kyle Pitts, now Calvin Ridley. It just changes the game plan. But I give credit to Dan Quinn and that defense, man. I think that's what really, ended up happening towards us. They made adjustments, and they were just physical. And they won the game, and we couldn't stop their offense.
Great breakdown, Sean. Mr. Steven Johnson, they call him Unk. look, he says, knowing that they have the quick turnaround, they're playing the New England Patriots, who, look, I hate the Patriots and stuff like that, but the Patriots defense, I'll say that every quarterback they play, it seems like they're able to create turnovers for the most part. So you got to respect that. Get pick sixes, strip the ball. Should they have rested players out there? AJ Terrell looked like got hurt at the end of the game in garbage time. Pratish, we'll start with you. Do you think it was a mistake they didn't pull some of their players earlier?
I think maybe they should have, but at early in the third quarter, I think they didn't, because they wanted to see if they could get something at least going, something to like at least get a touchdown or something. But you're right. AJ Terrell did get hurt in garbage time, and maybe we should have just rested some of the starters and took him out earlier, because now AJ Terrell's out. He's our best corner. He was looking like one of the best corners in the league, and was allowing barely any yards when thrown to him. So now if we're going to be without him for the Patriots game, it's going to hurt even more.
Sean, AJ Terrell goes down in garbage time. What are your thoughts on the Falcons? You saw they were getting blown out, wasn't competitive. Should they have pulled out their starters earlier?
I mean, in hindsight, you could say yeah, but at the same time, it's like, I didn't even know AJ Terrell got hurt, to be honest. I was going after entering the fourth quarter. Mentally, I wasn't paying attention to it, but I hate to admit that. But no, I mean, AJ Terrell, yeah, it's a big loss towards one of our better cornerbacks, and to see a short turnaround of 4 more days, depending what the injury was. I'm not sure how bad I don't know what the injury was, you know what I mean? So hopefully come back and play Thursday. But I mean, in hindsight, you can say that, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, we pull most of our offensive players. Defense usually kind of stays on the field with linebackers, some secondary players. So maybe he said, "Coach, I want to continue to play." You know what I mean? So in hindsight, you can say, yeah, he should have been off the field. But at the same time, I mean, when you get beat like that, especially on the defensive side, you gave up the 40 points. I mean, you just want to make a play. You want to fix something. So I don't really blame him for that, to be honest.
Absolutely. And look, concussion, that can't be good. AJ Terrell has a history of concussion, so we'll see. Yeah. It's a quick turnaround. I don't think he'll play against New England. You got a quarterback in Mac Jones who he just threw 3 touchdown passes, and some people predicted it, saying, hey, playing with the Patriots, that system, he's the type of quarterback who could have early success, unlike the other quarterbacks. And it got ugly in Indiana. Don't even make me bring that up. Trevor Lawrence at one point, who I'm pretty high on, was 3 for 14. He was terrible. And then it's like Carson Wentz was terrible too. A lot of bad quarterback play today, guys. If you just look up and down some of the stats or watch these highlights, it's like, wow, if you're a quarterback in college, feel good, because maybe some teams will reach on you, even if you're not worth that much. Let's continue to break this down. Was this more the Cowboys might be a Super Bowl contender with the better teams in the league? Or was this, okay, Falcon fans, Falcon fan base, the coaching staff, everybody just overrated the Falcons because of that win on the road against the Saints team, pretty competitive team, pretty good record, one of the better teams record-wise in the NFC. They just had a dogfight, and some people thought they got robbed against the Titans. That game came down to the end. Did we overrate the Falcons, or are the Cowboys just that good? I'll start with you, Sean.
Well, I think, you got to, if you're comparing towards the Saints, for one, it's a rivalry game. So usually, the division games are going to be close. Me personally, I mean, with the Falcons, like I said, they can compete against anyone, but they can lose against anyone. So I knew that game was going to be close, and also Jameis Winston didn't play. If you had Jameis Winston, he's a better quarterback than Trevor Siemian. Maybe the Saints would have won that game. You know what I mean? But at the same time, anytime it's 2 teams who play twice a year division games, it should be close. And I figured by them not really having a consistent quarterback, I thought the Falcons could still win, and they did. They let them come back after being up 18 points with 6 minutes left. It got dramatic, like he usually does, but Matt Ryan made the third quarter pass and they won the game. So coming to the Cowboys game, I mean, honestly, I feel like, especially with our best offensive weapon in Calvin Ridley, I still believe it went like I feared, man. It wasn't that surprising. I thought we can be more competitive. But at the same time, I mean, I feel like we got more exposed. I think Travis had mentioned that too, in the chat. But I think we just got exposed, man. The Cowboys are just a better team. They're a contender. We kind of look like a pretender, to be honest. And I'm a diehard Falcons fan, but I'm being honest. You know what I mean? And we play like they're just a better team than us in all phases of the game, even special teams. You're going to halftime 28-3. Here goes a block. This to get 34 more points. You know what I mean? And they went for 2 because we don't respect you. And we're going to keep going for 4th down because we know we can get it. So I wasn't surprised by anything, man. The only good thing I guess can come from this game is that we're still technically in the 7th seed, but now Cam Newton's back, Carolina, scoring touchdowns, folks, so we got to worry about them. But, I mean, it was a loss for the Falcons, man. I think it's more on the Cowboys just being a better team, and we're right where we need to be honest. 7th, 8th seed.
Pratish, is it more the Cowboys, how maybe they're Super Bowl contenders, or is it the Falcons? Maybe we need to pump the brakes. Maybe they weren't as good as we thought. Maybe this notion that this team could make the playoffs was the expectation a little bit too high.
I think that the Cowboys are contenders. They looked really, really good. It was just an off week for them last week against the Broncos. And Dak Prescott looks really, really good. He's been playing out of his mind this year. And he's has that urge to win. And that whole Cowboys team does. And the defense has been improved with Dan Quinn. Credit to their defense as well. They shut us down the whole game. And I think it's a little bit also that we just aren't a very good football team either. Because Sean was right. Calvin really being out does hurt a lot. Because he was our true number 1 wide receiver, and he was getting open a little bit. He may have not had the best season, but he was getting open on these corner routes. He's getting open on the out routes. Just provides a whole level of offense for the team. And I think that the defense was 13th overall in passing. I mean, that's better than what Falcons fans have seen like the past 6 years, even, I'd say. But going into this, it was just like Dak Prescott was just picking us apart, couldn't tackle. CeeDee Lamb is getting wide open and touchdown every time. I think Cowboys are contenders, and we just didn't play them well enough.
Okay, Pratish, I noticed you didn't say the Falcons were pretenders, though. I feel you on that. You're still keeping the hope alive and stuff. Pratish, I want to say this real quickly. Even through that big loss, your first thought right now, do you feel like the Falcons, they'll learn from it and maybe the New England game will be more competitive, or do you think it could potentially get ugly in New England? And they'll just carry on to that.
I think if we look at the whole season in general, like this team, they're not the best, but they've kept most games competitive. Like that Eagles game, I know. Look at the score at the end of the game; it was 38-7 or something like that. But at halftime, it was a 7-6 game. It was a 1-point game. Like in this game, it could have been 7-6 if we actually kicked the field goal with potentially one of the best kickers in the NFL, Young Ogu. And I don't think they're gonna get blown out every week continuing forward. I think it's gonna be a little closer in New England just because I think we just got something got thrown off this week, or they didn't expect what they expected, or something happened. But I usually am pretty confident, pretty uplifting. I don't know.
No, I feel you. I'm just asking. I will say this. One person I'm disappointed in is Arthur Smith. I thought right there they should have kicked the field goal. I thought it was a little bit long. I understood the thinking, like, okay, he didn't have that much respect for that secondary. He saw Diggs getting burnt. He saw Kyle Pitts run a little. I get it. Patterson catching some balls. He believed in his quarterback, believed in Matt Ryan. But I think the second they didn't get it, it's like everything changed. It's like the defense, like, oh snap. We thought maybe the Falcons would get something out of it. And sometimes, and maybe it's false to think this, I think sometimes your best offense could be your best defense. Now in the NFL, and I've seen it, man. I've watched the Jets for years. I actually seen it today. Jets just got blown out. No surprise there, right? First half of the game, defense getting sacks. They're getting upfield. Surprisingly, I'm telling you, tune into a Jets game, you'll see the defensive line. That's the best part of the team. That's the only good football you're going to see. Defensive line play, right? Second half, it doesn't happen because the offense is so bad. Throw a pick. Oh, here we go. Threw a pick. Now we're on 0-25. Stat sheet might look bad. They go in there, score. But your offense sometimes is your best defense. That confidence of getting, all right, we got 3 on the board. We're okay. We got to stop here. Offense go get 3 more or 7. So I think, yes, easily we could sit here and say, oh, well, if it went the other way around, we wouldn't be saying this. But I think that was a big momentum shift. I just felt like the offense kind of set the defense back. Not saying the defense did anything great today. They didn't. I'm just saying we all know the Falcons. The Falcons, a lot of times, their best defense, the best offense. They'll feed off of when the Falcons defense was at its best. And this season, they've been shaky, just like the offense has been shaky. Technically, they're ranked higher. Their offense is higher than the defense is. What's up, Miller? What's up, man? It's been a long time. But my whole thing is this. The Falcons offense, they got shut down. And I think that Arthur Smith call was terrible. Should kick the field goal. I think maybe it would have been a closer game. That exact moment to me is when the game changed. But back to another point I like to make is quarterback play. I don't even believe Dak Prescott got the best protection today. There was times he stood in that pocket, took big hits, no blocks, and was able to release that ball. And in the end zone, guys were catching the ball and things like that. I saw with Matt Ryan today, he made some big plays when that pocket was clean. Once that pocket started collapsing, it was over, which happens to a lot of quarterbacks, which is a testament to how Dak Prescott continues to grow. When I see quarterbacks make plays under duress, those are big money quarterbacks. I'm not saying Matt Ryan can't play. Matt Ryan's had some big games. New Orleans, big game. What he was able to do in Miami against the Jets. So he played some good football. But today, once he kind of got behind the 8 ball, they were playing catch up. A little bit pressure came to him. A little hesitant, making some mistakes like some quarterbacks do. It wasn't pretty. I think Dak Prescott, he was like, yeah, I'm that guy today. I'm an elite quarterback. Stop questioning my $40 million. And now Falcon fans and the rest of the nation, unfortunately, and I'm upset for Falcon fans too, because you got the worst Matt Ryan performance and the worst timing. You got it where literally the whole country's seen. So he could ball out maybe against, New England. That's another national TV game, Thursday Night Football. A lot of people watch that too. So hopefully he can rebound against that. But you guys get the point. National TV game, big game. A lot of people didn't see the Jets game or the Miami game, Washington game. So they didn't see – some people caught the New Orleans game a little bit, but they're saying what? Oh, well, the backup quarterbacks, this, that, and the third. So I don't know. I will say this. Let me wrap it up. The Falcons are pretenders right now. There's nothing – but it's the NFC. The NFC is going to be tough. A lot of teams in the NFC are pretenders, and they're going to get exposed. But it was a beating. It was a beatdown. If you're a Cowboys fan, you're feeling high and mighty, saying, hey, maybe Mike McCarthy figured some things out. Maybe Kellen Moore figured some things out. Maybe Dak Prescott's that guy, and we can go to a Super Bowl. Cowboy fans feel like they go to a Super Bowl. Every Cowboy fan I'm talking to, or I've spoken to, whether I know them or not, they say, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going deep playoff run. The Cowboys want to beat the good teams. Matter of fact, you speak to a Cowboys fan right now, they're not even just saying, oh, well, yeah, we beat the Falcons. Yeah, that's cool. But bring on Green Bay, bring on the Cardinals, bring those teams on. Bring on the Bucks again. That's who they want to play. But if I'm the Falcons, I guess they feel bad right now. But on the bright side of things, AJ Terrell, today I thought he played well. He gave up a couple passes, but nothing big. He continues to play well. And he's the only guy who really played well. Grady Jarrett, he made some plays in the first half. They were talking about, I seen him flying all over the ball. Some of the screens he was able to stop. I thought Grady played well. Deion Jones didn't play well at all. Fowler, I like Fowler Jr. I want him to play well. It never happens. But, look, New England, it's going to be a bounce-back game for the Falcons. I think it's going to be close. Let's preview this New England game Thursday night. Pratish, I'll start with you. How do you see that game playing out? Remember, Falcons are at home, haven't won a home game. They're hungry for a home win. I think it'll be a close game. What do you think?
I agree with you. I think it's going to be close as well. That defense is a little worrisome, though, because that defense is really, really good. That Bill Belichick defense is really good. They're getting a lot of turnovers. Every time I watch them play this year, they just look like a top-tier defense. They're doing everything right. But also, I think this might be a bounce-back game for us, too. I think it's a national TV game again. I think it's going to prove that it's going to prove if we can actually win games or not this year, and if the defense can actually hold up. I know Mac Jones is playing really well. He's looking like the best rookie quarterback out of the draft right now. So if the Falcons can actually limit him to what he's doing, and he's not going to throw like 5 touchdowns or anything like that, but he's like Tom Brady. He's going to pick apart the defense.
Absolutely. Sean, how do you see this playing out, previewing the Falcons versus the Patriots? Do you think it'll hang over that beatdown, or you think the Falcons, just kind of like the Cowboys, big
Well,
bounce back time?
I mean, I don't think the game will be as lopsided. You know, I think it should be closer, being at home as well. But to be honest, if I had to pick, I'll give the edge to New England. You know, we never beat Bill Belichick or Tom Brady. I believe in franchise history. I don't believe we ever beat those two. So, you know, the Patriots have really good defense, man, and I just think they're just better coached. You know, even without Brady and even you know, playing as well with the rookie quarterback this year, Mac Jones, who was decent, but when you have a well organization like that, I mean, they just find ways to win. You know, and I just think it's gonna be tough, you know, for us. But at the same time, I mean, for the Falcons is, you know, I guess the only good thing is, hey, it's not a superstar quarterback. You know, Mac Jones isn't Dak Prescott. He's not bad. He's good. But at the same time, let's force turnovers. Let's get to him. You know what I mean? They don't have to necessarily have the best offensive playmakers, but they do their job. You know what I mean? And I think this game is going to be more about coaching rather than just talent. Because even without Ridley, I mean, we got Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson. We still got him. Matt Ryan is he's a better quarterback than Mac Jones, I believe. So we got the talent. It's just about, I believe, executing. You know, so I think this game is going to be really on coaching. Okay, that's where I go by.
Okay, cool. Look, I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a heck of a game. And guys, we're going to talk about that later in the week. We're going to have coverage on that. Pertish is going to be here. He's been doing a heck of a job. He predicted the Falcons were going to win today. It would be a close game. We all thought it would be a close game, right? Everybody thought it would be a close game coming down to the end, but he does a great job. He's going to be breaking that game down. Sean's also going to be breaking it down, and I'm going to be breaking it down too. Fellas, thanks for joining me. We are the Flying High Podcast on the Just Good Network. We're presented by Your Future Media and the Level 1 Game Room.